It's Saint, nigga. Everybody say they BLM till it's that time. Know that shit don't matter to you niggas, why waste your time? All them niggas wanted was your money, took all your dimes. You ain't thinking for yourself, a nigga, you ain't got no mind. Claiming that he Muslim, only been to jail, yeah, one time. Went to death the nigga up, all I could smell was swine. Hold the nigga, back it up, give me 50, feel a boy. Nigga around a nigga, man, you smell like some shitty toys. How you eat this shit, man, that shit the nasty as a bitch. Tell you is a Muslim bitch, you claiming that you Christian bitch. Still is that dirty ass nigga, you ain't changed a bit. Shit don't make no sense, ayy, make it make sense, ayy. Switching like a hot girl to all these beliefs, bitch. Say he love everybody, you don't want no pedophile, you don't want no rapist nigga, you don't want no killers nigga, you don't want drug dealers nigga. Shit don't make no sense, little nigga. Everybody say they BLM till it's that time. Know that shit don't matter to you niggas, why waste your time? All them niggas wanted was your money, took all your dimes. You ain't thinking for yourself, a nigga, you ain't got no mind. Claiming that he Muslim, only been to jail, yeah, one time. Went to death the nigga up, all I could smell was swine. Hold the nigga, back it up, give me 50, feel a boy. And I ain't gon' lie, man, you smelling like some shitty toys. How you eat this shit, and man, that shit the nasty as a bitch. Tell you is a Muslim bitch, claiming that you Christian bitch. Still is that dirty ass nigga, you ain't changed a bit. Shit don't make no sense, ayy. Make it make sense, ayy. Switching like a hot girl to all these beliefs, ayy. Everybody say they different, everybody say they gifted. Shit don't make no sense, so why you niggas out here all sinning? Oh, I know why. Cause niggas like lies. For the cross, yeah, you die. You'll risk your whole life. Niggas strive, they try. You don't care if they die. That's a cold little nigga, man, they gave up their lives. All facts, no printer, I ain't telling no lies. Everybody say they BLM till it's that time. Know that shit don't matter to you niggas, why waste your time? All them niggas wanted was your money, took all your dime. You ain't thinking for yourself, a nigga ain't got no mind. Claiming that he Muslim, only been to jail, yeah, one time. Went to death the nigga up, all I could smell was swine. Told the nigga, back it up, give me 50, feel a boy. Ain't gonna lie, a nigga, man, you smell like some shitty toys. How you eat that shit, man, that shit the nasty as a bitch. Say you was a Muslim bitch, claiming that you Christian bitch. Still is that dirty ass nigga, you ain't changed a bit. Shit don't make no sense, ayy, make it make sense, ayy. Switching like a hot girl to all these beliefs, ayy.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on rest for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I'll tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind foot. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. Look. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the like you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in his life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. Either fold or salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth out of show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit. Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed it, nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for it, I got real soldiers, kill folk, and nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not self. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we running. Bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till death do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told him I need major motion. Nigga, I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jordan. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that eco-line into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in the attic like they in Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gonna show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real.
All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And today is Wednesday law class. And with that being said, the title of today's class is Who is My Mother and Who is My Father? An ongoing, thing that happens in the world of the Bible, ongoing topic that people might not know the actual breakdown of, people might not have the exact understanding of it, right? Kind of. How do I? Let me see where I could. Let me see. All right, there we go. One second. TAGR. And all right, we in business. Right here. And then okay. Let me see if I got it for everything though. Nope. So we gonna do this. 1 second, y'all. I'm having a. I'm just trying to get this title situated. That's it. Ooh, we there. Let me move this real quick. This goddamn thing about to burn me up. I'm about to be on here getting darker. And one last one. There. Okay. All right, we in business. All right. So, right, who is my mother and who is my brother, right? It could be an ongoing situation that. No sweat. It could be an ongoing situation of where we are trying to find out what does this mean, right? Because Christ spoke about these particular things, right? Whenever he was walking, right? You know, a lot of times they would mock Christ. They were trying to ask him to do certain things, you know, come perform this miracle. You know, his mother used to ask him that, you know, come do this, come do that, right? Because they just thought and looked at him as as entertainment or a laughing stock, right? They didn't really take him too much serious, right? I just thought everything was fun and games, right? And that would be, what scripture is that? I know I got it. Set a man at variance. I know I just had it. 1 second. All right, Matthew 10 and 35, right? So we're going to get the book of Matthew. Chapter 10, verse 35. Because this is talking about when Christ was speaking, right? Saying, who is my mother, who is my father? I've come to set variance against the household. Not everybody's going to get along. Why? Because I didn't choose everybody. Not everybody's going to understand what I'm saying, right? Matter of fact, we can go back a verse before that because it says in verse 34, think not that I've come to send peace, right? So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34, right? Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am come not to send peace, but a sword, right? And with that being said, it's going to go into the next couple of verses, but this particular thing is talking about that Christ don't love everybody, right? You know, and you can use this as well as who Christ died for, right? So that way you know that if he dies for a particular set of people, he don't love everybody, right? Well, in this particular case, this is saying that, hey, Christ don't love everybody. He didn't come back to save everybody on the face of the earth, man. That's not what he's going to do. And with that being said, since he's not coming back to save everybody on the face of the earth and he coming to send a sword, that means that, you know, he didn't come for all your family members. You know, he doesn't care what they got to think. If it's not according to the scriptures and they're not following him, if they're not trying to do the will of the Father and to be therefore perfect as our Father is in heaven, then the hell what they talking about, man? Because they just speaking nonsense. They just want to fulfill the lust of their life. That's what they want to do. They just want to continue to live here in America because they think America's free. You could be free spirited. You can go to the place, you got a nice little job, and you think that you're free. You think that you're not oppressed. That's what you think. And you think that everybody's supposed to come together and Christ loves everybody.
When in all actuality, Christ does not love everybody. Christ only died for the nation of Israel. And Christ was only sent for a select few people, just like it says in the scriptures. Salakia. When it says that many are called, few are chosen, that's what it's meaning by that it's only a select amount of people that's going to get and understand what Christ's real message is. The true spirit of Christ. That Christ is not no pushover. That Christ is not coming to have peace with everybody. And that's the thing that we have to get out of our head, because in the Christian church, that's what they tell us, right? So let's go to verse 35. In the Christian church, they say that Christ loves everybody, right? That's what they say. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah. Tamakia. What's going on, brother? You join in and tuning in, support, man. Appreciate that. Right? So with that being said, the Christian church says that what? Everybody can be saved, that Christ loves everybody, and you're supposed to love all your parents, right? You're supposed to, all of your family, Salakia, right? When in all actuality, Christ didn't do that. Because his family did not follow after him. They didn't. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? His family didn't follow after him. Was Joseph a disciple? Did he follow after Christ? Or did he not? Did everybody follow after Christ? Did John the Baptist follow after Christ? He kept all the law, statutes, and commandments. Yeah, he did. He was good at that, but he didn't follow Christ. It's the same thing with the Christian pastors, right? The Christian pastor, I'm finna add you to the stream. Shalom on Christ. What's going on? Add you to the stream, right? Everybody says that, the Christian pastors are of God. They that's what they think. And you're supposed to love your family this and love your family that. Now look, here in America, when they say love each other, it's giving you money. It's calling home. It's, spending time with you. No, those are acts of love if you want to just go based off of, in the family-oriented thing that they show us here in America. Correct, right? But according to God, love is going and preaching that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's love. Going and telling the truth about the Bible. That's love. Love is telling your brother to not be a drug dealer, to not rape women, to not be a part of the alternative lifestyle, to not follow the ways of our oppressors, to not go to the Christian church, to not join the Islamic faith and go to the Muslim mosque, to not be a Buddhist, to not be a Rastafarian or practice in Judaism, to not do these things. That's love. Because if I didn't love you, I would have not told you those things. And guess what? According to the scriptures, if I do not warn you of the things to come, your blood would be on my hands. It's only right for me to say to not be these things that our oppressors want us to be. In fact, in the scriptures, it says that we ought to obey God rather than men. And me telling you that is love. That's love. That's what love is. Not just allowing you to do those things, right? Hey, young man Elijah, you can hear me?
Khan.
Can you give me the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 35? Baba Kasha.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother,
right?
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Right. Now read that again from the top, and I'm going to break it down. What does this mean? What is Christ saying in the book of Matthew, the 10th chapter and the 35th verse? What is he saying? These are red letters, so that means Christ is speaking. Go ahead.
Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Stop right there. For I have come to set a man at variance against his father. Meaning what? Christ has come to make to set a difference. To cause, like, it's not everybody's going to agree in that household, meaning, right? You're going to go and follow Christ, and you're preparing your soul for temptation. Following the ways of Christ, you're going to go against your father. You're going to do that. Why? Because your father is in the world. He's not in the truth. Your father follows the ways of America. So therefore, you two can no longer agree, and you will be at variance. You will be at disagreement. You will be at a feud. I'm not saying the feud resorts to violence, but a spiritual feud. You will go at it with your father because he believes in the ways of our oppressors, the ways of America, the ways of Christianity, and or any other religion on the face of the earth. And you follow the truth and you understand the truth about Christ, the true context of the Bible, and the true spirit of Christ. So therefore, you will be at variance, right? Keep reading.
Verse 35. And the daughter against her mother.
And the daughter against her mother, right? Now, with that being said, what are some things that the daughter can go against her mother with? Well, when your daughter goes and she finds a man that is in the truth, which is the men that are in the ISUPK, and that man begins to tell her about the truth and to educate her on who she truly is, right? And according to the scriptures, and how to be a virtuous woman, to be a Proverbs 31:10 woman, right? How to be a good servant unto Christ and a good servant unto the school, to be a better woman into the world, to be a better woman into her sisters. Your mother is going to go against you because you're going against her, because the ways that she's learned here in America is that you be with one man. So like I said, what are some of the ways that you can go against your mother? Well, you join the truth. And of course, according to the scriptures, we preach everything in the scriptures. And in the scriptures, it says that a man can have multiple wives. Well, your particular daughter goes and finds a man in the ISUPK, which is a real priest and prophet of the Lord, right? With that being said, since we preach that you can have multiple wives, now it's not unlawful that you don't have multiple wives. If you have no wife or if you have one wife, it's up to you. That's that man's household. But this particular man wants multiple wives. So now she's a part of a man that wants multiple wives, but she understands according to the scriptures that it's lawful and everything is good, right? So now her mother is like, why are you with that man and this and that? He brainwashing you. And she's like, nah, mom, this is according to the scriptures. I know my faith. She has an understanding and she's able to back this argument. So now they're feuding. You wasn't raised like this. You know, we're in a monogamous household. Who I'm gonna eat pork with. You can't come to the 4th of July. You can't come to Christmas. You can't celebrate Mother's Day. Now she's at feud with her mother. Why? Because she does not follow the ways of the world. She follows the ways of the Bible. So now the daughter and the mother are feuding for numerous reasons. Why? Because she follows the truth of the Bible. And that's why it's called the truth. You go into the Christian church, that's the lie. You were in a lie. You can say you're in a lie. That's what you need to say. But when you understand the truth that the ISUPK preaches, that we profess across the face of the earth, then you understand that, hey, you are in the truth. You understand, hey, if I'm in the ISUPK, we're preaching the truth, I'm in the truth, right? So you're going to feud with your mother, right? And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, right? And this is all talking about family problems, right? Stuff that happens within the household. This is going to happen. Why? All because you prepare your soul for temptation unto serving the Lord. And how do you do that? Through Christ. And since you have done that, you have the man going against the father, the daughter going against the mother, and the daughter-in-law going against the mother-in-law. This is all family things that we deal with. Now, you can ask any priest and prophet of the Lord in the ISUPK, the ones that are really in the truth. And I'm only saying that just based off what's depicted in the scriptures. Now, a lot of you will say, well, why do you talk down on this and talk down on that? The only thing I am is doing is speaking the truth of the Bible. That's why we say the truth. Now, you can't get mad at me for speaking the truth of the Bible. I just speak God's words. And according to God's words, you would not be in the truth because you don't follow everything through to the T of the scriptures. That's why we say that. Now, if you did, then we could say, hey, you're telling the truth, you're in the truth, and you're following everything according to the scriptures pertaining to the truth, in the truth. You're not adding, you're not taking away. It's the truth. But since you aren't, that's why we have to call a spade to say that you aren't, so there's no confusion. because for so long you'll tend to believe that you're in the truth. You'll tend to believe that you are serving God, that you are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but you're not. And it would be unbrotherly of me and would be unpriestly if I did not enlighten you to let you know that you're not in the truth, that you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments all the way to a T. Because therefore, according to the scriptures, and like I said, we follow the scriptures, what's going to happen? Your blood will be upon my hands. And therefore, I have failed at keeping the scriptures to a T. Because in the scriptures, it says, preach for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Well, how will you ever know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand? I have to preach it to you. And what are the rules and regulations to obtain or inherit the kingdom of heaven? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So it's full circle. I have to say that. And not only just because I have to, I want to say that because I am a priest and prophet of the Most High God. I want to go and teach my brothers about the Bible, the truth in it, to let you know, no, you kind of wrong in this area. Just read it a little bit more. Go up some more verses. Get the context. I'm trying to tell you, this is what it's really saying. And then I can correlate it to real life so you actually understand, right? So now we're going to go to verse 36. Now give me
verse 36.
Son of Christ. Go ahead.
And man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Mm-hmm. Stop right there.
Verse 37.
Now you can stop right there. You're going to get verse 36, right? Okay. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. What does this mean? Now, we ain't even got to use an instance for a truth, right? But I will use the truth and then I'll trickle down, right? To just break it down to a core so you can focus more, right? So, when you prepare your soul for temptation, you leave your mother and father's house, you have your own house, your own family, and you join the truth, right? The ISUPK, right? I know people tired of hearing us say, we the home of the truth, we this and that. Well, it's factual. Why? Because we actually teach the scriptures to a T. We follow the scriptures to a T. We embody the scriptures to a T. There's no flaw in us. Just like it says, to be blameless. And that's what we are. That's why nothing else came up about us, because we're actually doing what the scriptures say, right? So, right, it says, and a man's foe shall be they of his own household, right? Now say, I have a family. Elijah, you have a family, right? Now, it's not just saying that it can be your mother and your father, your cousins and your brothers. It can actually be within your household with your own family. You have a wife, you have kids, and say that I'm the only one that's in the truth and my wife is not. She's not following after what I'm following, and she's telling my kids something else. They're Christians or they're Islamic. They're going to be foes against me because I'm going to tell them that their doctrine is wrong. It's only right, thus saith the Lord, that I'm going to be at alt with them. I'm going to be at a difference, at variance. We're going to feud because they believe something else. And she's Christian. She believes that she can eat pork. Now I go out to camp and I prophesy to the wind and tell the world, which she would be part of the world because she would be Christian, right? Let's just say in a sense of a wife, right? And you're saying that she sees the video. She's like, what the hell you mean that we can't eat pork? My Christian pastor said I can eat pork. So now I have to break it down to her, give her the scripture in Leviticus, the 11th chapter, the 7th verse, and let her know that you cannot eat pork. But now she don't hear what I'm saying. Why? Because she's a Christian and the law is done away with according to the Christian pastor. So now she's a foe in my household. She's an enemy because she's against God. It's the same way with you, Elijah. You got cousins. You can have a sister or a brother. You go out and you prepare yourself for temptation. You leave your mother and your father's house. You go and serve the Lord here in the ISUPK. When you come back, your parents and your family members will be foes of your own household. And I'm only saying that because you stay with them, right? You're not off by yourself yet, that you have your own family, right? But you do have us as brothers and sisters in the school. We would be considered we're your family, right? That goes back to the who is my mother, who is my brother? Well, the ones that's in the truth with you, right? The ones that actually care, the ones that actually understand the trials and tribulations of you going through. Because that's what every brother here in the school, every priest, every young man, every trooper is going through the same thing you're going through. That we have foes in our own household, right? So now you have cousins that might, hell nah, man. What you mean? I can't hang out with you. Like you'll say, I can't hang out with you no more, man. Man, you doing all that smoking, you over there trying to gang bang, you put my life at risk. I'm a priest to God. And I'm telling you not to do them things. And your cousin, man, what the hell? I don't care about none of that black people empowerment. The hell with all that stuff, all that soft stuff. That soft stuff, man. You soft, bro. Man, you used to smoke with us. You can't smoke with us no more. You too good for a nigga now? Salakia. Oh, you can't eat no pork no more? Or that Hebrew Israelite stuff got your head boosted up, huh? That's what they're going to say. And they are feuding with you because they have now become foes of your household. That's what they have become. And that's what's going to happen when you actually follow the truth. You can take it for a sense that before I came into the truth, I was considered an individualite. I was by myself. Right? And then you upgrade to a fake Israelite. You upgraded, you joined false camps, you know, the IUIC, the Sons of Thunder, the Watchmen for Israel, the WFIs, you know, the HOIs, the GMSs. You start to join groups like that, then you become a fake Israelite. When you don't join a group, you're just an individualite. When you join the false groups, you are a fake Israelite, right? And you might have an understanding of who you are. Yes, you're from one of these 12 tribes that picked it on the chart, right? And you find out what tribe you are based on through the seed of your father, right? And you say, well, whatever tribe you in, and you being a fake Israelite, you go out and you do these things, you condemn people and this and that. That's a start to being a foe of your own household because they're going to hate you. But then when it gets serious and you join the ISUPK, oh, you done took a whole different turn. It done gotten way more serious. You heard what little baby said? It's about to get serious. It done got serious. Like, it's over with now. You knee deep in it. Salaki. No homo stuff. But you win it, man. You neck deep in the water. Right? There's no turning back now. It done got serious. And now your household is feuding against you. But, you know, don't take that as an offense. Because if they do feud with you, that means that you're doing something right. That's what they're doing. You're doing something right. But when you become a Christian, nobody feuds with you. Nobody feuds with you. Because at the end of the day, the same people that might say, man, what the hell with all that holy stuff? Just because you go to church more than them and they don't go to church as much as you, they're just going to say the hell with all that holy stuff. But at the end of the day, y'all still believing on the same Christ, the same false prophet, the same false Christ, Caesar Borgia. Y'all still say that y'all believe in God. So therefore, it's not really doing anything. He just don't go to church as much as you, and he feels that he is not as holy as you. But y'all still believe in the same God. So it's really no feud, no alt. Y'all do the same thing. You go to church more, you might not smoke weed. But you go out to the clubs, you get pissy drunk, and you black out. You have sex with whores. You sleep with everybody, woman in the congregation in the church. He just smoke weed, gang bang, do the same thing. He don't go to church. It ain't no difference. Y'all not feuding. The only thing you might be at a feud with is that I don't go to church as much as you. That's it. But other than that, you guys both sin at the same rate. So since you both sin, you both can congregate together. You both can do things together. And you both believe on the same thing together. Why? Because there will never be an alt because you believe in the same God. But since we believe in the only God, Yahweh, a different God than the God that you serve, a different Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, than you serve, therefore we are foes in our own household. Then you ask your question, who is my mother? Who is my brother? Who's the ones that's really with me? The ones that are really with you are the ones in the ISUPK, the commanding general Yohana. You know how I know? Because in the scriptures it says to prepare your soul for temptation. If they can go out and lay their life down for their brethren and their sisters to not be drug dealers in the world and or physically, as well as they done it spiritually, those are the ones that are with you. The ones that you can actually call on. You can call on Captain Yatazak and get counsel. You can call Officer Awanyala and get a scripture breakdown because all the years in church they taught you wrong. That's your brother, man. Your brother is a Captain Yatazak. Your brother is a young man, Elijah. Officer Shamarwan, Thamakia, and Officer Gadawan, and Officer Razan, Officer Shapat, Officer Malakwath, General Mahayaman, Commanding General Yohana. Those are your brothers. Those are my brothers and my sisters in the school. That's your real family. The ones that laid down their life for the betterment of you. Because if they had not, you could have very well been the recipient of the same life that they were living to cause you to continue to live the same life that you were already living. But you don't understand that. You don't understand that. You think that everybody in the church is your brother and your brother and sister. You think just because you're my fleshly mother, my biological mother, my biological father, that might mean something. That just means that you're my biological parents. But according to the scriptures, I know who my real brother, I know who my real father and real mothers are. I know who my real Akim and Akwath is, and Adawanyam is, and Alawapiam is. I know who that is. The ones that actually risk their lives, the ones that care about the betterment of the nation, that are selfless and not selfish. And if you are selfish, you're no brother to me. You're no sister to me if you're selfish. And what caused you to be selfish? The Christian church. What caused you to be selfish? Judaism, the Hinduism, the Buddhist faith, Rastafarian, the worshiping of crystals, all of the Christianity faiths, all denominations, whether it be St. Lutheran, First Baptist, New Methodist, Pentecostal, Roman Catholicism. I can go on and on, right? Or non-denominational. All of those things lead you astray. All of them things make you to believe that everybody is supposed to be, every nation is supposed to be your brother. But I know the ones who are my brothers. I know the ones who is my father and my mothers. The ones that understand these scriptures. That's who it is, right? Not everybody. Not everybody's going to be it, right? Give me verse 37. I know you was already on it.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Right.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Right. Stop right there. Now, this is Christ speaking. He said, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Now, let me break this down. You know why Christ is saying that? Because I don't know if you know, but you know Christ left his mother and father. You know Christ's mother and father did not follow him. And he was the one anointed by the Most High God. He was the Messiah. And his parents didn't even follow him. And he left them. Because he didn't love his mother and father more than he did the Most High. Why? Because you loving your mother and your father and mother is what? Going to lead you astray and cause you not to complete the mission. And what is the mission? The mission is teaching the spirit of brotherhood throughout the earth, preaching that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, waking up the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and telling them that we have to come together so we can be a strong nation and build this kingdom up for Christ, that we cannot be a lawless society like the rest of the world. And Christ decided to leave his mother and his biological mother and father to follow God because he had faith in building this nation. He had faith in bringing back the two sticks. And he said, if you love your father and your mother, you are not worthy of me, because your father and your mother are emotional. Your father and mother will do the lust of their flesh. They're not going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. They're going to do the lust of their flesh. They're going to eat the pork. They're going to have sex with whoever and whatever. They're going to worship their birthday. They're going to worship Christmas. And if you love them more than you love me, then you're not worthy of me. Meaning that when he come back, you're not going to get some handout just because you felt that you loved me with your heart. I knew your heart. Your heart is your mind. Not the one that beats in your chest and is attached with feelings that make you cry, that make you feel some type of way. See, that right there would lead you astray. And you loving your father and mother will have you to think with the heart that beats in your chest. instead of the one that's on top of you, that's in your brain. That's the heart right here, your mind. Your heart is your mind, right? And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, right? Now, let me break that down because a lot of people might not understand that. Meaning what? If you have a son that, could be in an alternative lifestyle. In the world, they say you should love everybody. So according to the world, what will you do? You go and talk soft to your son. You go and talk soft to your daughter, and you'll accept them. Prime example, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. He has a son that is now transitioning and or probably is transitioned now to become a woman. But the only reason why he cannot say anything to his son is because of the ways of America. So he loves his son's life more than he loves following Christ, because Christ would have spoke against the lifestyle that Dwayne Wade's son is trying to live. But since he loves his daughter, his son daughter, so much, and he is afraid of the backlash that the world will give him, he is going to feed in to the ways of his son's living. And therefore he accepts it because he loves him. And he's not going to tell him that lifestyle is wrong. And the reason why is because he has no faith. And the reason why he has no faith is because he follows the ways of America. That's why. Now you're starting to see the connection, right? So since he loved his son more, and he's going to appease to the ways of his living to fulfill the lust of his life and allow his son to change sex and allow his son to have unlawful and be a part of the alternative lifestyle to perform in sexual acts that's against God. When Christ come back, Christ's love will not be for Dwayne Wade because he is not worthy of it. Christ's love will not be for Magic Johnson's son because Magic Johnson's son is not worthy of it. Neither is Magic Johnson. It won't. It won't be. Christ's love will not be for TD Jakes. It will not be for Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry dressing up in dresses, wearing stuff that pertains to a woman. Doesn't do anything for black and brown people. Christ's love will not be for them. Why? Because they are not worthy of him. They're not worthy of his love. And that goes into the whole thing is why Christ didn't die for everybody. Because he's saying this, if you love your father and mother more than me, you're not worthy of me. Because guess what? Just because they're your mother and father, or that's your son and daughter, don't mean that they're going to get to inherit the kingdom of heaven just because they're your seed. Nah, man, they got to come and prepare their soul for temptation just like you doing. Just because they ain't your kid don't mean they're going to reap the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. Nah. You gotta go and teach them the way. And if they want it bad enough, if they want to inherit the kingdom of heaven, then that's what they'll do. They'll follow after Christ just like you're doing. But they have a choice to make. You got to teach them. But hey, if they choose a separate way, that's on them. But at least the blood won't be upon your hands by you enlightening them and letting them know. Understand that, right? Let me see what I want next. Right? Let me get John 15 and 18.
Khan, this is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Uh-huh. Stop right there. Right? Now, this is the book of John, right? This is Christ speaking as well. In the book of John, the 15th chapter and the 18th verse, Christ said these, and I quote, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Now, ye means you. So if the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. How do we know that the world hated Christ before it hated us? Because they unalived Christ on a cross. And he was a black man, the king of the Jews. The Jew that was from the land of Nazareth. What good shall come out of Nazareth, right? He was the king of the Jews because salvation is of the Jews because that's who he came and to die for, right? So how do we know that the world hated him? Because he was an unarmed black man from the tribe of Judah, and he was unalived on a cross, and he had no weapon. And the only reason why they unalived him, the only reason why they wanted the Romans to persecute him is because he was trying to bring back the two sticks. He was trying to bring back blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And he did not have to do it with weapons. The only weapon that he had was the Bible, the weapon of God. And since that they seen that he moved so militant by using the words of God and nobody could defeat that, they said we have to unalive him because he's getting too powerful. He has a voice by the ways thus saith the Lord that it's becoming too powerful to the point to where we can't control it. Our empire is falling. And we need blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to be oppressed even more so that way Rome can still stand. Because Christ was doing this in the days of Rome, right? Walking around, preaching this message, the spirit of brotherhood, right? That's what Christ taught, to come back together, right? As well as sisterhood, right? That's what he was teaching. And they were pissed off. Oh, they were mad. They said, how does man that come out of nothing? I'm talking about some old country black man talking about he the Messiah and teaching the words of God and getting his people back up on their feet. And he ain't got to use no guns to overthrow our empire. And we got to take this dude down. Like he bringing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians up out. He's making their body full of life because he's waking up the dry bones, right? Just by preaching the word of God. And our empire is falling because the same very people that he's waking up are my same very well workers that make my empire strong. The same way in the book of Matthew when Christ was saying that he came to set variance of who is my brother, who is my mother, who is my father, who is my mother, and who is my brother, is the same way that you should be questioning. Is the same way that you should be questioning your own life. Because you got to look at the Bible in the light of your own life because the Bible is about you. Understand that, right? So when you look at it, you got to put yourself in the Bible shoes. That's what you have to do. And you have to understand that once you come into the truth, once you fully embody this, you're going to look around. These people ain't really my family as they say they are. I mean, if you claim you support me and you claim you such my family, then you would do as such. But every time I go out to camp, you try to crucify me. Every time I say I have to teach class according to the God, because according to the Lord, because I am a priest, you hate me for it. Well, guess what? I'm no longer living my life in fear because guess what? They hated Christ before they hated me. And guess what? You know why they hate us even more? Because Christ died for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because we was living a life of sin, and he was the one that was sinless. Right? And now they're going to hate us even more because we're going to honor Christ's name and teach the same message that he taught when he was walking the earth. And they're going to hate us for it. They're going to hate us because Christ didn't die for everybody, that God don't love everybody, that he only died for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They're going to hate us for that. That's the main reason why they label the ISUPK as a terrorist group, a hate group, a racist group. Because just like they hated Christ, they had the same type of titles for Christ. They said Christ was a tyrant. They said that he was a terrorist. That's how you know that Christ would have been a part of the ISUPK. That's how you know the spirit of Christ is with the ISUPK. That's how you know the spirit of the Lord is with the ISUPK. Because the same way they hate our guts, including IUIC, because they said we just a bunch of niggas. Salakia. It's the same way they would have called Christ. They said, man, Christ is just a nigga. Why is he over there? Christ has the same spirit. And we have the same spirit as Christ. The ISUPK has the same spirit of God. Just like Christ has the same spirit of God. A spirit of war. And they hate that. They hate that. Because they want you to be docile and to bend the knee as if we have to steady bend the knee to America as if America is Joffrey, like off Game of Thrones. To just submit to him and continue to serve him and don't step up and gird your loins and take back your culture. And that's what they hate. They hate the fact. They hate that fact, right? Now give me verse 19.
Khan, verse 19. If ye were of the world, the Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
If ye were of the world would love his own.
Mm-hmm.
But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world,
Mm-hmm.
therefore the world hateth you.
Right. Now, briefly, I will bring up this. We have this ongoing situation as of what? John 3:16, right? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. So everybody believes that Christ died for everybody, when that's not the case. The reason why I brought up this scripture is because what? If you have family members that are not in the truth, they are of the world. So in the scripture it says, if ye were of the world, if I was in the world with my mother and father, and my brothers and sisters and cousins, aunties and grandmas, they would love me because I'm of their own. I would eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. I would celebrate pagan holidays. I would do the things that they do based on the ways of our oppressors. So they would love me because now we can both live a life and coexist with each other. It wouldn't be no variance in the household, right? But because ye are not of the world, because I'm not in the world, and I'm in the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, and I don't follow the pagan ways and pagan holidays and pagan gods, they hate me. Because Christ said, but I have chosen you out of the world. Remember when I said that many are called, but few are chosen? Many are called, but few are chosen. We are chosen here in the ISUPK. The Lord chose us out of the world and chose us to follow Christ, right? Therefore, the world hateth you. The world hates us. It's not just, every other nation. Your own family hates you. They hate that every day that you're striving to be a priest, that you're striving for the betterment of Black and brown communities, that you're striving to stop Black and brown people from being murderers, to unaliving people, to being rapists, to being pedophiles and child molesters and or drug dealers, to strive them from eating unlawful food and laying down with strange women. They hate the fact that you're doing that because that means that you'll go against them. And you know why? Because they know that what their life that they're living is wrong. So that's why they try to stop you dead in your tracks. Nah, don't join ISUPK. And that's for the birds. They got your head messed up because they know that this is the truth of the Bible. And they know that at one day you're going to have to go against them because they're living that same very life that you're preaching against. The same very life that the Most High God does not agree with. The same life that Christ spoke against. And they know that one day you're going to have to feud with them. And it's not a physical feud, it's a spiritual feud. And they understand that no matter how many demons are in them, they simply cannot combat with the words of God. They know they're going to get defeated. No matter how strong them demons are, they know that when you speak the words of God, them demons are going to fluster inside of their body, in their spirit, right? And they cannot simply handle it. And the reason why they're feuding with you is because they want those demons to continue to inhabit that house. That house is their body, their temple. So they can continue to live the lusts of their life. Why? Because the lusts of your life allow you to feel good. They make your flesh feel good. They appease your mind. The demons give you a lust, and it's like motivation into your life. Continue doing bad. Because the Christian church says the law is done away with. You can go there and say you repent and do the same thing tomorrow. Why? Because you have not died yet. So you think that it's okay. And that's what they do. That's what the demons do. And that's why your parents, your brothers and sisters and cousins feud with you, because they want to continue to live the rest of their life. And they tell you that what you're doing is against God. When in all actuality, they're against God. And they know that one day that you're going to have to come against them because they're against God. Because they don't have the spirit strong enough to be able to fight the temptations. But they don't understand that you being in place is the one to help bridge the gap to give them a spirit strong enough so they can fight those demons. You never heard when somebody say block your blessings? They're blocking their blessings. When they don't, when your family don't listen to a priest and prophet of the Most High God, they're literally blocking their blessings. A priest of the Most High God in a family, if you're a priest of the Most High God in your family, you are literally a true blessing unto your family. That's what you are. But they think, you know, if I don't say, hey, neighbor, in church, I'm blocking my blessings, I'm not going to get $1,000 check. No. The blessing is what? You having a priest of the Most High God in your family to be able to give you direct access to the truth of the Bible, to give you direct access to all the solutions to all the problems in your life. And you're blocking the literal blessing. And you wonder why your life is hell. And that's why you have to ask, who is my brother? Who is my mother? Who is my brother? Who are my brothers? The ones that give me direct access to the truth is the ones that are my brothers. The ones that tell me to not be a drug dealer. The ones that give me counsel on making decisions in my life. Those are my brethren. The sisters that help feed the brothers when he down and out and he's on his last. Those are my sisters. Not the ones that's selfish and, you know, to care about the money, care about fulfilling the lust of their life. Those are the ones that are not of God. Those are the ones that are opposite and are the enemies of God. That's what they are. But they'll profess and say that they are when they really aren't. Because if you were my brother, you were my sister, you would lay down your life for your brethren, for your sisters, whether it be in a physical sense or a spiritual sense. But you have yet to do that. Therefore, you are none of my people. Therefore, you are in the world. Therefore, I can't trust you. Why? Because you still have demons on your life. You are untrustworthy. You are to not be trusted. You are to be evaluated or to be distant from until maybe just one day you have an ear to hear, to understand that maybe God is actually trying to talk to you. That maybe if you actually listen to God, it can be a betterment to your life. But until then, hey, I love you, brother. Hey, I love you, mama. I love you, pops. Hey, what's up, cuz? Until then, we have nothing to talk about. Because you have not shown me that you're my brother. You have not shown me that you're my sister. You have not shown me that you are preparing your soul for a temptation. You are literally getting beat up by the demons and fulfilling the lust of your life. That's what you're doing. Right? Let me get Matthew 10 and 33.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
Right. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven, right? Ask yourself this. This is Christ speaking. He says, whosoever deny me before men, right? So you go up there and you say you follow Christ, but you really follow Caesar Borgia. You go up there and you say Christ love everybody. You go up there and you don't preach the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You go up there and you do not preach brotherhood. You don't have brotherhood. You're doing everything in itself above and beyond to deny Christ before men. Because you do not go out and preach the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You do not show brotherhood, and you do not teach the spirit of Christ, which is brotherhood. You don't profess Yahweh Shai Mashiach's name across the earth. You say Caesar Borgia because you think that's Christ. You don't follow the Bible to a T. So Christ is saying, I will also deny you before my Father which is in heaven. Meaning what? When he come back, it's going to be a lot of people say, we prophesied it in your name, Christ. We prophesied it. We prophesied the scriptures, Lord. The Most High, we did it. And Christ's going to be like, Them the same people that denied me before men. Them the same people that were not bold as a lion, did not speak aloud like a trumpet, and don't care about feelings. He gonna say, I don't know them. They didn't put in no work. They didn't have no faith. They denied me before all the men. And why is that so important? Because Christ didn't deny his brethren before men. Christ stood up against men and said he didn't care if you was his brother. If he didn't care if you was black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. The ones that wanted to follow him, they followed him. And the ones that were his brethren that did not follow him, hey, he still spoke against them so that at least he can have a chance. Maybe they can come in some understanding to have a chance to follow him, to say, hey, what he is teaching is right because it's straight out of the Bible. So it didn't matter if you was a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian going against him. Oh, he preached against them too. But the ones that followed him, you best believe they was on the right path, right? But this goes for all other nations when it says deny me before men, right? Our oppressors do that. They think that they serving Christ for real, even though the service of Christ is not even for them. But that's what they believe. It go for them too. But this is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians denying Christ before men. You don't go and say the real true color of Christ. You say Caesar Borgia. And you say that he's a Caucasian man that derives from the Caucasus Mountains. That's what you say. You say that he died for everybody. You don't even say the real message or the true mission that he was on. You only say it's just black people only, and you don't care about the Mexicans or the Native Indians. I mean the Hispanics and the Native Indians. You do everything contrary against the scriptures. And when Christ come back, he's going to deny you before the Father which is in heaven. So when he comes back, and let's just say, the Most High obviously gets reports from the angels, and he's saying, well, is this brother right here, is he tawab to enter into the kingdom of heaven? Is he tawab to inherit the inheritance? La, he is not. And you're gonna be heartbroken because you're gonna be the same. Well, we prophesied it in your name. No, you didn't. You prophesied it in the wrong name. That's what you did. Even if you came into the understanding of knowing who you are, knowing that you're an Israelite, and just because you know you're Israelite doesn't mean anything. It just knows that you just know that you can be from one of these 12 tribes and understanding your nationality according to the scriptures, right? But you not professing Christ's name across the earth, you not teaching the true spirit of what he was teaching, oh, you was in a heap of trouble. That's what you in. And it ain't gonna be no negotiations when he come back. It ain't gonna be too much talking that you can do. It ain't gonna be too much talking, right? Let me get. Matter of fact, you can. Yeah, no. Yeah, read that again.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven.
Let me get Matthew 10 and 7.
Khan, verse 7. And as ye go preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 7. And as ye go preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. If you ain't out here, man, if you're not underneath this banner, man, if you're not in this school, then you're not really preaching and saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand for real. Because if you're not in the ISUPK, then you're really a Christian. That's what you are. That's exactly what you are. Because what you do is you pick and choose. You pick and choose like the M&Ms out of the trail mix. You only pick the good parts. And you don't tell the full truth of the Bible. You don't go and let them know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All you do is condemn your brothers. It goes for the same that, your family members say, well, I'll go and do this and I'll go and do that. No, you don't. You don't go and tell people the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And what are the ways to even inherit the kingdom of heaven? To follow the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you started off. But you don't do those things. You don't go and tell your brothers and sisters that. Therefore, that blood will be upon your hands. Because you don't let them know that, hey, we have to come together, as it says in Zephaniah 2:1, because we're the nation not desired, to build up this kingdom for Christ, the kingdom of heaven, where Christ is going to rule and we're going to rule under Christ. But you do not do those things. But you say you do. You claim you do. Well, I know my real brothers and sisters are on that type time. They're on that type time. My real brothers, they go out and preach it and say the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's what they go and do. And they speak loud like a trumpet and spare not. That's what my sisters do. They understand that it's embedded in our brains. The scriptures is embedded in our brains, in our minds. And we understand it. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. So them sisters that they got sisters that's doing something wrong, they go and tell them sisters, hey sis, I don't want to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be doing that. You know, that's against God. And then they might instruct that sister to talk to their husband, right? Or talk to their camp leader, right? To get understanding on why to not do those things. And to understand that since you're not going to be doing these things no more, you'll be following the law, statutes, commandments, and have a chance to inherit the kingdom of heaven. And you got to stop doing those things because we have to build up this kingdom for Christ. But everybody says that they go and preach for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The Christian church does not do it. And Christianity has let us down so much to believe, so much that our family members believe that that's what they're doing. When in all actuality, you're not. But for the ones that go and preach it, you are my real brethren. Those are the real Akim and Akwath. The ones that go and tell people that, hey, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And how do you inherit the kingdom of heaven? By keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And that goes by what? There's going to be some variance in the household by me keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. My mother will be mad at me. My father will be mad. My cousins will be mad. My brothers will be mad. My sisters will be mad. Because I'm actually keeping the law, statutes, and commandments because I understand that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And that's what you have to do. If you're a brother here in the ISUPK, you must go and preach and say that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and you must do just like Christ. Set variance in brothers' households. You got the Spirit of the Lord on you so much that you go on to saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Tell them to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That way, when he goes back home and they understand that he is in the ISUPK and he is dedicating his life for his brethren and his sisters because he understands he has to build this kingdom up, that's what you should be proud of. Then you know who is your real brother because he laid down his life for the betterment of other brothers and sisters. That he was not a selfish individual. Not a selfish bastard, that he was selfless, because that's the biggest thing that the Bible teaches us, to be selfless and not selfish. To love someone more than you love yourself. And that's what it goes into the thing of you lay down your life for your brother, for your friend. That's being selfless. That's loving somebody more than you love yourself, right? Let me get Matthew 5:48.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, this is Christ speaking, right? And Christ is saying, be perfect. Now, your mother and your father, your brothers and sisters and cousins, aunts and uncles, what do they tell you based on the ways of the Christian church? They tell you nobody's perfect, right? That's what they tell you. But God dang, you must not love me. You must not love me because you using the Bible as trail mix. Because the Bible say right here in Matthew the 5th chapter, the 48th verse, to be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Christ was perfect, Job was perfect, and many other prophets were perfect, right? They were perfect. The men in the ISUPK strive to be ye therefore perfect as our Father is in heaven. We strive to be perfect just like Christ. We are blameless. But your mother and father will say, we all fall short of the stick. You don't love me. Because you're not telling me Matthew 5:48. You're not telling me that it says to be ye therefore perfect. That's a commandment to be perfect. You say we all fall short of the stick. Nobody's perfect. You speaking blasphemy against the scriptures. Why in the scriptures it say Job was perfect? Why did the Most High tell Satan to go and put Job through trials and tribulations? He said, seeing that my servant Job here is perfect, he's without blame. Why? Why would God even say that? Why was Christ perfect? How was they able to do these things and I'm not able to achieve these things? If you say that I can't be perfect, you don't love me. If your people say that you can't be perfect, they don't love you. But I know the men in the ISUPK strive to be perfect. Those are my brothers. The ones that want to be blameless. The ones that actually want to inherit the kingdom of heaven. But everybody else, for some reason, says that they fall short of the stick. They can't be perfect. I just can't do it. It's just something in me I can't. I just have to sin. That's what they say. I just have to fulfill the lust of my flesh. That's what they'll tell you. And if they say that you can't be perfect, they have not read the Bible enough. They really don't believe in the Bible through the thick and thin. And they have no faith. And they aren't following Christ. Because this is Christ speaking. And therefore, they don't love you. But Christ loved us. Because that's why he gave his life. Need I remind you, he was an unarmed life there on the cross to die for our sins. Let the blame be upon him. Because he was the one that was perfect. Let sin be upon him. Let all wrongdoings be upon him. Right? But when you come into the understanding of the scriptures, there's no more forgiveness of sins. So that's why we're striving to be perfect. Because once we come into the ISUPK, the Commanded Journey of Hana, it's no more flaws. We have the understanding now. Now, the reason why people continue to sin, because it says in Hosea 4:6 that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They have been destroyed so much, just like it says in Deuteronomy 28, and I believe 48 and verse 68, paraphrasing, that the yoke of iron have destroyed us. It was upon our neck. And once they took it off, all they had to give us was pagan religions. And the pagan religions messes up our minds, so now we're destroyed spiritually, not physically. Right? That's the only thing they had to do. And they'll say, you can't be perfect because everybody messes up. Through the ways of Christianity, that's what they tell you. When in all actuality, that is a fallacy, that is a lie, according to the Most High God. And according to the scriptures, Christ just said it, to be ye therefore perfect as our Father is in heaven. Well, Christ did it. Job did it. I mean, dang, the men in ISUPK are doing it and are perfect. So what is your excuse? Your excuse is you don't love yourself. Your excuse is you don't have faith. Your excuse is you're telling me I can't be perfect because you are the one that's fulfilling the lust of your life and you want me to do the same thing. That means you want me to die, which means you don't love me. But the brothers and the sisters in the school, the generals, the captains, the officers, the 5,000s, the 500s, the 50s, the young mans, the troopers, we are striving to be perfect. We hold ourselves accountable to be perfect and or blameless. That's why there's nothing on the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana. That means we love each other. That means that we're holding each brother accountable to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. But for some reason, you don't have that accountability. For some reason, you don't have that type of brotherhood. But that's what the scriptures teaches us. Now I know who my real brother, who my real sisters are. The ones that hold me accountable to be ye therefore perfect as my Father is in heaven. But you just simply wouldn't understand. You just simply could not understand. Why? Because you don't have the spirit to understand. You don't have an ear to hear. You lack understanding. But what you fail to realize is we're trying to give you the understanding. But you'll never listen because ye are of your father, the devil. You worship your oppressors. You worship their pagan holidays, their pagan religions. And therefore, your ear only hears and adheres to Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, the Buddhist faith, the Islamic faith. Your ear only adheres to those things. And you can give a damn about what we're saying when in all actuality, we're trying to give you life. That's what we're trying to do. So be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father is in heaven. Try doing that. and she wants your life changed. And it's not hard because the law, statutes, and commandments are not grievous. They're not grievous. But everybody makes it seem as if the law, statutes, and commandments are a grievous thing to keep. But in all actuality, they're easy. I know for so long, if you're 40, 50, 60, and you be eating pork all your life, that can be a hard thing to stop doing. For so long, you've enjoyed this taste of this particular meat. You like the way that it's dressed up on particular pieces of food. You like the way it looks. You like the way it tastes. And the reason why you continue to eat it is because your Christian pastor told you to continue to eat it. But when it's time to stop, it's a hard thing to give up. It's like when your daughter is about to move out, she got a boyfriend, or your son about to go to college. It hurts because for so long, for 18 years they've been living with you. You had to take care of them. You helped raise this kid, and now they got to go to college. You dang near cry. It's the same type of love that you have for your kids, the same type of love that you have for the pork, shrimp, crab, and or lobster. It's like raising a kid for 18 years. And you hate to see it go because that particular kid you had certain memories with, you can do certain things with, you had a certain type of connection. It's the same thing with the pork. But the sooner that you give it up, your life will be easier. You won't have to deal with parasites and sickness and all type of manner moving through your bowels and wonder why you have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. You wouldn't have to worry about these things if you give it up. Now, it doesn't have to be an instant thing. Some brothers and sisters can give it up instant. They might have a different zeal. But as for you should at least strive to at least try to give up such filth. I mean, it would only be right if you say that you really follow God and love God. Well, loving God is what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what it is. But if you go against God, you would transgress against the law, which means what? You're not showing God that you love him. Showing God that you love him is following the law, statutes, and commandments. It's not a grievous thing. It will take time. Some brothers and sisters have a different path, a different way of living, and it's a different path that you have to go down to give up certain things. But I'm telling you, if you just try, then you have a chance on going down a path of being ye therefore perfect as our Father which is in heaven. But of course, your family members won't tell you that you can be perfect. They say that you cannot be perfect, and therefore they are against you. But the brothers and the sisters in the school understand that we have a chance to be perfect. That's why we're blameless. And if they're telling you that, those are your real brothers and sisters, not your biological family members. I mean, of course, that's family. Of course, you can say that according to the world. But according to the scriptures, we know based on what God is saying, who is my brother, who is my father, who is my mother, who is my sister. With that being said, you got to hold that dear to your heart. Now you have some understanding, maybe my blood, not really my blood. Maybe don't have the best interest for me. Because if they did, they would speak life and allow me to live life. Life is not just you just living and breathing. Everybody does that. No, life is when you have the law, statutes, and commandments. You have you do things decency and in order. That's what life is. Being a wise and understanding nation, being actually God's chosen people. Hold yourself with morals and principles. That's life, not being a lawless society. When you're lawless, a lot of bad things come to your life, right? Let me see what my next scripture would be. You can read that again while I get my next precept. You heard me, Eli? Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48.
Mm-hmm.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right. Give me John 4:22. I'll show you how much more that your family do not love you. Go ahead.
It's the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Right.
And the reason why I brought this up is once again to let you know that your family members do not love you. Just because they're family does not mean that they love you. A lot of people say they love you. Why? They just say they love you just based on the word love, and they're just saying it. They're honoring you with their lips. They give you money, I love you. I say happy birthday, I love you. I give you a hug, I love you. No, it's a deeper thing. And the love that I'm talking about is the love according to the Most High God. Not love according to America, not love according to China, not love according to Scotland and Finland and Poland and Turkey and Syria and Iran. Not that love that everybody professes across the face of the earth. The love that I'm talking about is the love of your brothers and sisters, the love of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which love is an action word. And how do you show that you love somebody? By stopping somebody from unaliving themselves. How do you do that? You teach the spirit of brotherhood. How much it means to have this brother to live on life and to not lessen his life. By you telling that brother, hey, Christ died for you. That your life has more meaning. You don't have to sell drugs. Stop smoking the crack. Stop selling the cocaine. You're literally unaliving yourself. And or you could be in the process of, you can be on the other end of being unalived. You're a drug dealer, get pulled over, you get unalived by the police. Now we got this whole ongoing thing talking about police brutality, right? You're selling drugs, you're doing drugs. Now you're literally unaliving yourself. There's nothing good about drugs. The only thing that you can say that's good about drugs is what the demons think that's good. And that's just fulfilling the lust of your life. America says drugs are good. The demons say drugs are good because the demons follow the ways of America and allow you to do the drugs and to feel good to your body, and you think that it's good. That's a temporary thing. But guess what? You keep doing that temporary thing, it become a long-term effect onto your life to where now you can't hear no more. You can't speak no more. You're losing teeth. Your liver messed up. Your lungs messed up. Your lungs collapsing. One is at 60, one's at 40. Now you're literally just a vegetable. You have no understanding. You don't know what it means to be a man of God. You don't know what it means to live. And all you think, just based on what America teaches, is what? You make money and you die. But Christ is saying here, ye worship, ye know not what. Our parents tell us to go to the Christian church. They say every Sunday, let's go to church. You better go to church. If you don't go to church, you're going to hell. That's what they say. Because they want to go and serve Caesar Borgia, because we believe that Caesar Borgia is a Messiah. But Christ just said, ye worship, ye know not what. But guess what? For so long, I didn't even know who Caesar Borgia was. That's spitting proof of the scripture. Ye worship, ye know not what. I just thought that white man was Christ. Come to find out, this is Caesar Borgia. Come to find out, this is not Christ. Come to find out, this is an imposter. But the men in the ISUPK, we know what we worship. We know what we worship. That's what we know. We know we worship the Most High God, Yahweh. We know we follow Christ. We know that Christ died for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because for salvation is of the Jews. But when you go into the Christian church and your parents keep saying, go to church, you're going to go to hell. They don't know what in the hell they are worshiping. They don't understand that they're worshiping a man that life was filled with incest. They don't understand that. They don't understand that they was worshiping a man whose life was filled with iniquity. They don't understand that they're worshiping a man that is an imposter, a man that is leading them down a crooked path. They don't understand that. They think that's of God. They think that's Christ. They think that he died for everybody. Well, specifically, it says that salvation is of the Jews. Now, if you go into Revelations 2 and 9 and Revelations 3 and 9, they have some people that say that they are Jews. And in 2 and 9 Revelations and 3 and 9 Revelation, it says for people that say that they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Meaning what? That is the Most High God saying that our oppressor is the dang devil that the Bible speaks of, right? And he's going to say that he is a Jew, but he is not. And the reason that being, he had to specify that is because the so-called, the big hats, the little curly curls on the side, right? You got to be mindful because, they control everything, right? They believe that they're the real Jews. But it says for salvation is of the Jews. So why would the so-called Ish man need salvation? He's literally over there in Israel. The Israeli men, they have their kingdom over there. Why do they need saving for? Now, saving is for the meek of the earth. But of course, your parents and your brothers and cousins and everybody will say, you're wrong for not going to church. We know what we worship. You need to come and worship Caesar Borgia. You're wrong if you don't worship him. That's what they tell you when they don't know what they're worshiping. They don't know that they're worshiping a false idol. And that's why, once again, you'll know that the men in the ISUPK are your real brethren, are your real sisters. So when you're at home and you're talking to Big Mama, you're talking to your nana, you're talking to your pawpaw, you're talking to your mother and your father, and they go and say, you need to go to church. You need to start analyzing who are you really serving. What you need to do is go in the book of Revelation, the first chapter, and go down to verse 13, 14, and 15, and read the depiction of Christ. And why do I say revelation? Because revelation, the root word of that is reveal. And this is revealing the color of Christ. And read it. Just read it in the KJV Bible. And just read Revelations chapter 1 and verse 13, 14, and 15. And the next time your grandmama say, let's go to church, you ask her, what is the color of Christ? You ask her, why is Christ depicted as a Caucasian man in your church? Why? And then you go to John 4 and 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. Grandma, you don't know what you worshiping, man. That's not Christ. And for you to sit here and tell me, for my brother to sit here and tell me that Caesar Borgia is the real Messiah, you don't love me. You love our oppressor. You want to continue. You are part of the problem of keeping us down. But you my family, though. You claim you love me. Who really my family? I know who really my family, the ones that's going to tell me the truth. The ones that's not going to lie to me. The ones that's going to keep it 1,000% with me. And the ones that you see that keep it 1,000% with the entire world is the ISUPK and the commanding General Yohana. Whether it be the brothers and or the sisters. And y'all hate us. But it's okay. Just before you hated us, they hated Christ. We're trying to give you life. We're trying to tell you the truth. For so long, you go around and you search and search and search for faith. You search and search and search the true and realness of the Bible. And when we sit here and tell you the truth, we become your enemy. We tell you that you cannot eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster according to the scriptures if you want to inherit the kingdom of heaven. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9, it says, even in verse 10, it says, no idolaters, adulteresses, covetous, thieves, nor fornicators, nor effeminate men can inherit the kingdom of heaven. And we tell you everything that is against God and what not to be. And we read the scriptures and break it down to you. And yet you still hate us because you simply cannot understand and get this through your thick skull that the way that you're living is not of God. But yet you want to put an unlawful and a life full of iniquity onto me and say I have to live that same way. You don't love me. You're not my real brother, man. We might be biologically related. You're not my real brother. You're not my mother, man. You might be my biological mom, but you're not my mom, man. Because my mom would be what? It's supposed to protect me. Well, you're not protecting me. You don't teach me the truth of the Bible. You put me in danger. That's what you're doing. You want me to be unalive by the Most High. You want Christ to come back and unalive me alongside with you. You don't love me. But I know who do. My brothers and sisters here in the ISUPK. Those are the ones that love me. And what we're doing so much is we're trying to express our love to you. You know what love is? Correction. Rebuke. And we don't even do it. We don't even do it in a disrespectful manner. We just do it according to the scriptures. And we even talk to you with discernment. We talk to you in being respectful. We honor the words that come out of our mouth. And we be wise of what we say to our brothers and sisters out there. Because we can understand that you might have gone through certain things in your life and it could be offensive to you. And we try our best to not offend you. To not have you to get emotional. And we try to talk to you in a sensible way. And that's love right there in itself. Because I could have just said the hell with you and talked to you how these fake Israelites talk to you. I could have talked to you how our oppressors talk to you. But the moment, we both black and brown people, and I come to you in a respectful manner, it's some of shock. You want me to be toxic. You want me to be aggressive. When in all actuality, I'm going to honor and respect you, brother and sister. I'm going to talk to you as a sensible priest. And I'm going to give you the breakdown of the scripture to let you know that the life that you're living is not the ways of God. And that's love. But before your people and your family to tell you to go to church, they bringing you into death. That ain't love, man. That's not love. And every day, day in and day out, we debunk the lies of Christianity. We debunk the lies of every religion on the face of the earth. And as you can see, none of these religions show you love. Christianity is the number one religion on the face of the earth. And that religion right there teaches you what? To be selfish. If you are selfish, you're what? You're unloving. You're unbrotherly. You have no sisterhood. How can you love somebody and you're selfish? Oh, well, Christianity teaches you if blessings come your way, you take them. Right? That's what it teaches you, right? So if a Christian got $1 million in the bank, he's not going to give that to the church. He's going to keep that $1 million. And all the family members that he claims he loved because they show love through what? Through the ways of money. He is not going to give them money. The hell with that. These my blessings. You must have been working. You haven't been working for God enough. But I thought you loved me. I thought the ways of loving is giving me money. It won't give you a lick of a dime. You'll never see the $1 million. The next time you see him, he living a lavish lifestyle. Well, you should have been coming to church Sunday, man. Man, Christianity teaches you to be selfish, man. Even in the midst of you obtaining a lump sum amount of money and or good things coming into your life, they're just going to tell you, you ain't serving God hard enough. When in all actuality, the Most High does not deal with money. The Most High could care less about pagan religions and pagan holidays. The Most High can care less about you going to church every Sunday. He can care less. Those things are made up by who? The God doggone oppressor, the dang devil the Bible speaks of. And guess what? Our oppressors give you gifts as well. That is a gift that you are obtaining from our oppressors. But you think it's of God. And for you to tell me that that's of God, when in the scriptures it speaks contrary to it, you don't love me. And you're not on my side. You're an enemy of God. So start analyzing who really is of God and who really has their best interest for you and who really isn't. As you got to see. Because you see in these times, I mean, America's falling apart. The times we in, the Lord is speeding up stuff. I mean, it's very quiet. Something big finna happen. You know, every day you seeing black and brown people slowly deterring away from these religions, especially Christianity. And they trying to find a way. They trying to figure out who their real brothers and sisters is. Every day, households getting broken up. You know, people is feuding in their households. You know, they saying stuff that they really been meaning to say all this time. And you starting to see who really do love you. I mean, I know you seeking a place of refuge. Well, it's right here. Look right above me. It's right here. Where else are you going to go? Where else are you going to find the truth? Where else are you going to actually find real brotherhood and real sisterhood? Well, nowhere else, I'll have you know that. But you're going to steady search. You're going to steady search. And we're going to be right here. We're going to be right here. This is where we're going to be at. Still saying that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Still teaching the spirit of brotherhood. Still caring for our brothers and caring for our sisters. And don't get this wrong. Just because you're not an ISUPK don't mean that we don't care about our brothers and sisters, because we obviously do. That don't mean we ain't gonna get no clothes out. We're not gonna get no food out. We're not gonna teach you about the Bible, not conversate with you. No, that's what Christians do. You know, that's what other Israelite groups do, other forms of religion. But we aren't a religion. We are a culture. We're about culture, nationality, and heritage. We will let you know who you are. We will let you know that the ways you're living are wrong. And it's up to you whether or not to believe that these are actually God's words. Because I know you'll have own interpretations in your head. You'll say, well, this is not of God, but this is about us. I'm teaching you about you. I'm teaching about you, how you should live. Because salvation is for you. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. That's who it's for. But of course, your family will be in your ear. You know how they be in the movies when they have like the angel on this shoulder and the devil on this one? We actually became like the god doggone angel trying to tell you to get right. And your family members is the doggone little devil in the leather pants with the pitchfork saying, the hell with the ISUPK. The hell with that Hebrew Israelite cult. The hell with that nonsense. The hell with what they're talking about. You got your faith, I got my faith. And then your life gets worse. And now you're searching for answers. Now you're trying to figure out what's going on. Then, you finally put your pride aside and be like, man, maybe that stuff you was talking about might be right. But it don't never really fully go away because it's like 50% of the pride went away because they still revert back to their old ways. You got to stop reverting back to your old ways and understand that you have a chance at the kingdom of heaven. Christ did not come for everybody. That includes all your family members he did not come for. When you come and serve the Most High God, prepare your soul for temptation. Your family will be against you. Your mother and father, your cousins and brothers, and your god doggone uncles, your god doggone aunties will hate you. When you really follow the truth of the Bible, it's going to happen. It must come to pass, as it says in the scriptures. It will happen. So don't be as a shock. It will happen. But you have to understand this, that when you do set variance in that household, it's a spiritual war, not a physical one. Spiritually, their mind is in another doctrine. And spiritually, your mind is in the culture of the Bible. So there will be feud because you don't live in the same world that they live in. You dwell in the world of Israel, they dwell in the world of America. So with that being said, it will be feuds. Now, you handle it as you will. But of course, you being a priest or you being a sister and you being dwelled in the ISUPK, they'll tend to grasp on. And that's a good thing if they grasp on, because now the veil is being pulled from over their eyes and they're starting to understand who they really are. Who they really are. And Most High in Christ, if they come into the understanding that the ISUPK is the truth. But for the ones that do go against you, hey, that's what Christ came here to do, man. Teaching the spirit of brotherhood, following Christ. Hey, that's what's gonna happen. Because not everybody gonna be chosen. Not everybody is equipped to follow Christ. Not everybody's equipped to be on this path of following Christ. Some people just don't have the zeal. Some people just don't have the spirit strong enough. But it's up to us to go out there and preach, prophesy to the wind. Go out there and wake up brothers and sisters and let them know, hey, you will have enemies. The world already against you. And your family going to be against you. And the only reason why they're going to be against you is because you're actually following Christ. You got to do it. It's only right. I mean, Christ God doggone did it. He's trying to bring us back. It would be only right that we do the same thing in honor of him. Right? Let me get. What do I want? Let me get Ecclesiastes 7 and 13.
Come.
You go ahead and read it when you got it. Yeah, 7 and 13. You got it?
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he has made crooked?
Right. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked. Right. I brought this up because, I mean, of course, Big Mama, your daddy will say, you should love everybody, son. You shouldn't judge nobody. Right. You shouldn't judge nobody, man. You should love everybody. When the Most High God says what? The God doggone devil the Bible speaks of, our oppressor, the Caucasian man, he was a wicked and estranged from the womb. Number one oppressor, right? The number one has done the most filth to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Of course, we got the Arabs, the Hawaiians, the Asians, the Middle Eastern man, right? They've done works as well, following their counterpart, the Caucasian man, following the steps of him. But the Caucasian man is the number one at the top of the list, right? And God made him this way. To be a deceiver of the earth. It's just in him. In the scriptures, it says that he was a murderer from the beginning. Right? With that being said, in Psalm 58, verse 3, that they are wicked and estranged from the womb. That as soon as they be born, they go astray and speak lies. Right? So if the Most High made them this way. And my mom over telling me I should love everybody when they're never going to love me, just like iron rusteth, so does their wickedness. Then why am I even showing love to them? Why am I even caring to even love them? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, who am I to go against God and tell him, nah, you know, all white people ain't bad. So like it. All Caucasian people ain't bad. You know, maybe they're good. 1 second.
Come on, sweat.
Right? All of them good. They're not wicked and strange from the womb, but the Most High God made them like that. So who am I to tell God, no, they're good? Who am I to tell God, you know, nah, we should love everybody after they done made this wicked alternative lifestyle? The Lord made them wicked. Everything that they're going to do is wicked. So who am I to tell them that it's okay? Read that scripture again.
Hold on, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight, which he has made crooked?
Right. How in the world you gonna tell God that Psalms 58:3 ain't true? Who are you? But you know who do say that? Who say that, Elijah? Who say that?
Say that again, sir.
Who say Psalms 58:3 ain't true? Who say that our oppressor is not a wicked and estranged from the womb? Who say that?
Christians.
Who?
Christians.
Right. Let's get specific though. Like, who specifically? Who? Your grandmama? Your uncles?
Yeah.
Right?
Come.
Right. Your uncles, your grandma, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They say, nah, they good. They go and try to make our oppressors straight when the Lord made them crooked. Which means what? They're disobeying the Most High God. Because God said, that's it. As it is written. I made them that way. They're wicked and estranged from the womb. Their life is filled with iniquity. The God doggone deceivers of the earth. So who are you to tell the Creator that all our oppressors are not the same? Who are you? But you know why? The only reason why you have that might in the only reason why you utter your lips to say that is because you practice a religion that the oppressors have given you to deceive you, as they're supposed to do, into thinking that the Creator messed up. That's the reason why. And by that in itself, you having a mindset of an oppressor to come and tell me that God is wrong means what? You do not love me and you don't love God. How in the world you gonna listen to an oppressor that gave you a pagan holiday, pagan religion that don't mean nothing, to make you go against the very same Creator that created you, to say that the Creator is wrong? Seems like that the oppressor is wrong, but he's only doing his job and what he was created to do, to be a god doggone deceiver of the earth. And guess what? He got you. Him doing that is like him going fishing and he got the hook out, but he ain't got no bait on it. And you're dumb behind you, the dumb fish that come bite the hook with no bait. Every time he hooking you. He ain't got to do nothing. Now you trying to go against how everything was set up to say, nah, man, you know, they wrong, man. Like, it shouldn't have been there. When he put it there. You're not understanding something, man. What I'm trying to say to you is that your family will have you to believe that the way that you living is wrong. Your family will have you to believe that our oppressors are good people. Your family will have you to believe that eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is good. When the Most High said those are crooked things and you try to make it straight. And the only reason why you try to make it straight is because they try to follow the ways of our oppressors and put that doctrine on you. That's why they get so mad when you say, I don't eat pork no more. I don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster no more, mama. I don't do that no more. I don't do that. You be like, why? I don't do that. You know, most of our guys say don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be therefore perfect as my Father which is in heaven. I'm trying to be perfect like Christ. I'm trying to be perfect like Job. I don't do that. I don't celebrate pagan holidays and pagan religions. I don't follow Caesar Borgia. I don't go to church no more. Well, you going to hell, baby. Hey, that's your God. That's what you believe in. You believe that hell is in the middle of the earth. Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians live in hell every day. Ain't no way you going to the core of the earth. That's not practical. Nobody even been to the center of the earth. Name me one man that been to the center of the earth. You can't. It's impractical. That's something that religion teaches you. Now you see the hypocrisy. You see the stupidity in that. It makes no sense. Like, come on, man. It just makes no sense. That's like saying the earth is flat and you're going to drive off the side of the earth. Where you going to go? Like, be real. That sounds stupid. That's the same way as when your people will say, well, the law's done away with and try to go against God. You look dumb. You look like a fool. I'd rather fit the scriptures when it says that we are fools for Christ's sake. I'd rather follow Christ and not eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster than to listen to you tell me that something that the oppressor gave you to tell me to go against God. That makes no sense. That right there is a crash dummy mission. That right there leads you down a crooked path. And that's why Christianity is the number one crooked path on the face of the earth. It has you looking stupid. It's the same reason why you don't go to church. It's the same reason why you fall asleep in church. I used to fall asleep in church. My grandma used to pinch my ear. I used to have a mark from her nail in my ear. I used to bleed sometimes because she pinched my ear so hard because I wasn't listening to the Christian pastor give the same god doggone sermon he been giving for the last 8 Sundays. Cain and Abel this. That means you able to get up and come to church. I never learned a god doggone thing. Nothing. I didn't know what my purpose was on earth. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know the law, statutes, and commandments or nothing. The only thing that they teach you, they add to the scriptures. They say, if you hold the door open for somebody, if you give them money, if you come to church every Sunday, they're adding those and saying that those are law, statutes, and commandments. That's what they say. When in all actuality, that's not. That's just a religion. And they add those things from the into the religion. That's what they do. We're doing 2. So it's almost done. Right? That's what they say, right? The same very people that get this ideology, this doctrine from our oppressors is going to tell me, my family members that have no faith, that claim they follow the law, statutes, commandments, and I see they don't follow the law, statutes, commandments, I see they have no faith, and they're going to tell me that the way I'm living is not of God, when I've proven time and time again that the way that we are living here in the ISUPK is of God. But the way that you're trying to have me live is not of God, which means that you don't love me. Because following the ways of God means that you love God. But you're going contrary to that means that you don't. Make it make sense. Somebody please make it make sense. Because it's not adding up. It's not adding up. It's not making sense. Right? Let me get let me get Matthew 10:6.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right? But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And why did I bring this up? Why? If your god doggone people is telling you that you should love everybody, that's a god doggone fallacy of the Christian church. That is speaking contrary to the scriptures. That is blasphemy against the scriptures, because Christ did not come to die for everybody. But your mother, your father, your brothers, your cousins and aunties and uncles, your nieces and nephews, want everybody to inherit the kingdom of heaven just based off of what they feel in their heart with their little emotions. And if you have that mindset, you do not love me. Why? Because here in America, we are already oppressed. We already are at the bottom. We already go through systematic oppression. We went through 400 years of physical oppression. We went through 150 years of the Ku Klux Klan reigning the earth, and still to this day, because they're disguised as cops or as fraternity members. And to this day, we do not have an up leg in this kingdom. And for you to say that after 400 years of oppression, of rape, rob, and unaliving, your people, your ancestors, that they get to dwell with us, that they get to inherit the kingdom of heaven with us, that Christ died for everybody, you don't love me. And you don't love yourself. You don't love me. Because in all actuality, like, based on Christianity, you would go to church for what? You go to church to try to find your faith, to try to be perfect, and to try to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and to what? Have a better life for the betterment of your kids. That's why you bring your kids into your faith. It ain't just the parents. You want the kids to be good too, because you feel, Salakia, that Christianity offers a sense of a good lifestyle with decency, a good lifestyle that gives morals and principles, right? Well, in all actuality, it doesn't. It's contrary to that. You want to say that these same people that we should forgive. I should forgive my oppressors for what they did to our ancestors. We sit in the church with them, knowing dang well that they great ancestors done did stuff to our great ancestors. And still to this day are continuing to do it. Why? Because they rely on the faith of Christianity. You want to sit here and want me to be kumbaya and break bread with them? Why? They get to live lavishly in this kingdom that we built? That's what you want me to do? You want pedophiles and alternative lifestyles in the kingdom of heaven. You don't love me, man. You got something to say?
Khan, sir. What you say right now is so heavy, because when you said that they want to they want to accept and adjust Christianity, but not only do they want to do that, but they also want to love their oppressor. They don't want to hate them.
Right. You absolutely right. They do want to love him. That's why we go so hard. We're always in their church. We're the biggest donators of the churches. That's why. Look at TD Jakes when he has conventions. He has a convention every year round with straight women in it. Now, we're not talking about his normal service. It's like a straight women's convention. Nothing but black and brown women, black, Hispanics, and Native Indians all throughout the entire, it's like a stadium. It's a coliseum, actually. I don't know, filled with thousands. And we go there and we listen to the doctrine that he preaches, that the doctrine that our oppressors have made. Right? Through the Bible. They preach their false doctrine and use the Bible attached to it to bring in more black and brown money, to strengthen their doctrine, and their doctrine strengthens their kingdom, because we're further and further away from who we really are, and we're further at the bottom. You love your oppressor, man. If you go into the Christian church, mom, you love your oppressor. If you go into the Christian church, pops, cousins, aunties, and uncles, you love your oppressors, and you hate me. You hate your other brothers and sisters in the world as well, and you hate yourself, because you are lessening your life. You're not adding or being a benefit to your life or anybody else's. You are selfish. Christianity teaches you to be selfish. But the ISUPK, the Commanding General Yohana, teaches our brothers and sisters to be selfless, because the biggest thing in the Bible is what? To love others more than you do yourself. Did Christ not do it? That's how you know we have the Spirit of Christ. We love others more than we do ourselves. I don't care about my time. I care about other brothers and sisters in the world that don't have a voice, that don't have time, that don't have houses, that don't have food and clothes. That's what I care about. They don't care about me enjoying life here in America. They give a damn about any of that. I'll risk my time of going out with brothers in the world, or being on a game, or watching a movie. If I need to go give clothes to the meek of the earth, I'll do it. If I need to go give some food and this and that and teach the Bible to the meek of the earth, the ones that don't have the understanding, I'll do it. So for you to sit here and say that I have to preach some false doctrine of God loves everybody and Christ died for everybody, then you out your mind. That's something that I would not do. And if I did do those things, I would be what? Disobeying the Most High God. Therefore, I would not be considered a blameless and or perfect man. And that right there is a path of death. That right there has no life in it. That right there is something that I will not stand for. And it's something that we as a nation should not stand for. We should not stand for false morals. False principalities and false hope and having no faith and not standing on morals. No, what you should do is look your family members in the eye and say, man, I don't know about this. This ain't led us down a good path for quite some time. It's time for some change. I keep going here and serving this white Christ, Caesar Borgia, and ain't nothing happening to my life. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I'm not blessed. I think I'm blessed. Ain't nothing good happening in my life. I keep eating this pork thing and it's doing good for me just because I pray over it. Now I got parasites running through my intestines. I don't understand. But what you don't understand is them same very well people, your grandmama, big mama telling you to wake up at 10 o'clock to go to Bible study or Sunday school on Sunday. To get there, then you have a 2-hour, 3-hour service. Them same very people don't understand that they don't love you. They love their oppressor more. They love strengthening their oppressor's kingdom more than they love you. And they don't understand that the life that they're living and that path they're going down is a path of death. And they're bringing you along with them. Literally, they are, how I say this? They're like crabs in a bucket. That's what our culture has become. And the reason why our black and brown culture has become that way is because we follow the ways of Christianity. Crabs in a bucket. Or if she gonna hang herself, she bringing you with it. She done brought a noose, an extra noose, because you getting hung with her. Salakia for the graphic the graphic visuals. Right? That's what's happening. That's what the ways of Christianity teaches you. They over there unaliving themselves, you going right along with them. If she getting hooked, you getting hooked. He catching 2 fish on one hook. On one hook, not even a treble hook, not even a double hook. On one hook, he catching 2 fish because you right along with him. And that's what you gotta understand this, man. Who is your mother? Who is your brother? Start analyzing that. You better wake up, man. You better stop going to that church house. You better understand that your mama tell you go to that church house, it ain't of God. You better start questioning her. What am I really learning? Is this really Christ? Am I really keeping the law, statutes, and commandments? Just do that for me. Just analyze that. Analyze your life. And with that, that'll conclude the class. I'll get the security announcements. Then we're gonna get the feast days and the prayer.
Colonel Khan, just give me a few seconds.
No sweat.
Colonel Khan, I got him right here. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, found in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth, it means tenth in the Hebrew, Mayashura, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Upcoming holy convocations.
Right? Upcoming holy convocations. Salakia is the memorial of blowing of trumpets, the first day of the 7th month, which is on September the 15th, 2023, which is on a Friday. And this can be found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 through 25.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, Start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. These are ISUPK security announcements.
All right, we're gonna mind you. 1 second, this chair trying to keep me down. We're gonna get the Lord's Prayer. All right. All right. Are you ready? All right. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Kwadai.
Shibashama.
Haya. Shamkai.
Haya.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Lakaka.
Tazai. Haya.
Tazai.
Shah.
Haya. Shazam.
Awa.
Barata.
Ya.
Awa.
Maya. Nathan Mana. Nathan Tanawa.
Lakan. Lakam.
Yawam.
Call. Yawam.
Wasalak Minawa.
Wasalaki now. Kawati now. Wasalaki now.
Kabawawati now. Wa'a.
Kawati now. Wahala.
Thaba Ayanawa.
Tama'an.
Banasanawam, a ball.
Banasai, I won the ball.
How was shit?
How was shine now?
How was shine
now?
Right.
Maya.
Laka.
Right. Laka.
Amakwa. Wahala.
Wahala.
La Aman.
Aman.
Our Father, which art in
Father,
heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, that will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever, so be it.
Forever, so be it. Amen.
All right. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Majim, Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barak Atah, Yajim Matah. All right, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Majim, Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Atah Hashem Yahweh Shah, Yajim Matah. All right, dismissed.